Item number 5, discuss take action on closing the Expo Center effective at the end of the fiscal year. And I'm sure there's some folks here that are probably going to want to speak about this. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I don't mean disrespectful comes across that way. Let's all be respectful of each other. Let's don't try to talk over each other as we move forward in this process, all right? What I'll do is, if you know whoever wants to talk, try to talk. I'll give them 3 minutes each, up to 30 minutes total. So, you know, if you've got one person, a straight spoken person, you want to speak 30 minutes, great. If you want to break it up, 2 people, 15 minutes, 10 people, 3 minutes. So however you want to do it, I'm willing to do that. I want to go over a few things that we've been through, because some of y'all may not know these hearings started in March. They've all been publicized. They've all been open meetings, so we're not discussing anything here that hasn't been discussed in other open meetings. But I want to give you some ideas on other departments, what we're going through as a whole. Genealogy last year lost 1 full-time employee. They've been working off volunteers and 1 part-time employee. This year they'll probably lose that part-time employee. The library lost 1 full-time employee, or will this year. The road barn is looking at layoffs in their areas. They just don't know how many yet. 1 department will be totally absorbed. 1 department will go totally away. The budget for that department will be absorbed, not totally, part of it will be saved, into the fire department and into the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department will be totally looked at after the first year when we see whoever the new sheriff is and who the new chief deputy is. It's not fair for us to go in there and tear their budget totally apart, because with a new gentleman coming in, whoever that person may be, to what they're going to have to deal with when they get in there. So they probably need about 6 to 8 months to look at that budget and see where we can go from there. Senior Center Committee on Aging. We've had 2 or 3 discussions with them, Pat Baker and I believe Ms. Metker, Pam Baker and I believe Ms. Metker. They're also being asked to cut into their budget, see as deep as they possibly can go, and still operate. So now that'll bring us to the Expo. I know somebody out here wants to speak, so who's the first one that'd like to speak? Any questions? There you go, sir. And like I say, let me figure out how to work this timer. Once you get up there to turn on mic, then I will see if I can figure this out and we'll get you going. And if you will, sir, just walk up to the microphone, state your name and who you're with and what you're representing.
How much time do I have?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
There you go. And I started right now, so
Great.
There you go.
Steve Williams, and thank you for inviting us to comment. I think that's important. I'm very highly qualified, having been a CEO for quite a few years dealing with profit and loss, and I understand the operation of profit centers and what things mean to communities. I've been involved with economic development and very successful programs of raising funding to help facilities such as the Granbury Airport with Congressman Edward, funding and so forth, outside funding to help keep those kind of facilities operating and profitable and safe. And I'm going to cut to the chase and tell you that I think you've got a gemstone. I have no personal economic interest in any of these activities at the center. I'm part of a club that uses the center once a year. And I actually invest money in that myself just for the enjoyment of the sport. So I have no economic interest, but I will tell you, having traveled every state in the United States and virtually every continent in the world, you've got a gemstone. You've got a perfect facility. I realize you have budget considerations, obviously. But what I suggest you look at is form a committee and see if you can find ways to make this facility work. If you close this facility down, you'll probably never open it again. I can say that from having been all over the world. Most of the arenas and facilities of this nature are outstanding, and they're a pride of the community, and they make money. I think you've got an asset, and no criticism. You've got great management, but this asset is underutilized. 2/7 of the week is not a way to run any kind of enterprise. I'm in the airline business. You don't keep an airplane running all the time. You don't make money. That facility needs to run 7 days a week. That can be done if you add a conference center capabilities to it. Some kind of a conference center. In the aviation world, we have a lot of small companies that make parts on airplanes, black boxes that sell for $100,000 each. They could use a facility of that size as a conference center. And you bring in 30 or 40 vendors, and that attracts people, and those people all stay in hotels, they all dine at the restaurants. Whereas the horse people, and we're horse people, 50% of our participants have horse trailers. They prepare their own meals, they sleep in their own trailer. The other 50% use the hotels, I know from our own experience. So I think if you could look at this as an addition of a conference center, or somehow invest some funding, I'll just touch on that before I close, to add a conference capability to the center, you'd see the utilization go to 5 or 6 days a week. And I think you'd find out that it'd be the pride of the county and the city, and you'd bring in a lot of business, a lot of activities. I'd suggest you form a small working committee to examine the ideas, a volunteer committee, and put this together before you really make your final decisions. And I think you'll find that this facility can be an attraction. If you don't have this, I think you're going to lose a lot of economic impact, for sure. And I said I've been on the economic committee. So you've got a valuable asset, you need to put it to better use. If you can't find the wherewithal to do that, maybe you find a partner of some kind. And I know there are boundaries regarding the Hill County College and the schools, but people make laws or make rules. You can adjust those if it's the benefit of the participants to the point where you can find maybe a consortium that will make this work to your benefit. If that doesn't work, I would also go and talk to some of the main large associations. All of these organizations, whether it be a horse association or any other association that wants to use that facility, they have a lot of people, a lot of connections, a lot of network. They might help you bring in funding and so forth.
Excuse me, sir. Time.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate your comments.